about if you have questions about the application, um, just feel free to, ask me now.
Well, as I was writing this, I was following the seven hallmarks of nonprofit managerial excellence.
Right.
Can I assume that those are the guidelines that are being followed for all the information that's requested?
The hallmarks of managerial excellence, and if you go to the website, there's seven of them,
Hmm.
all the way from leadership and governance to accountability.
Right.
So, what we want you to do is all of the wonderful,
Alexa off. Alexa off.
all of the managerial things that you're doing that are excellent. We want you to look at the hallmarks and tie it to the hallmarks. So let me just give you an overview of the process. So on March 12th at 5 p.m., we stopped taking applications. We have a review committee which consists of about 10 nonprofit leaders in the area. And after we get the applications, we distribute them to the review committee after they have submitted uh, no conflict of interest to the organizations that have submitted. And so they read the application and look at them through the lens of the hallmarks. And then we determine the top organizations, the top applications, and then we invite the top applicants to submit a round two application. And then we meet again, we physically meet, and then after that meeting, we determine who the winner is. And that winner is announced at our annual conference in October. So that's generally the process.
So I do have a fairly specific question. Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
On number 25, question 25, total number of organizations served. Can you kind of define what you mean by organization?
Well, so there are organizations and then there are individuals. So if you are an organization that deals primarily with participants and individuals and constituents, then those are the numbers that you will communicate to us based on impact and the people served. But for some organizations are bigger organizations and they actually do serve smaller ones. Um, I don't know if I can give you an example of that.
Like Northern Illinois Food Bank, for instance, serves other food pantries. So
Right.
but for a smaller organization, would it be the people we are partnering with to provide services?
That's a good example.
Okay,
And all through the application, there are places for you to explain.
right.
So
Okay.
if you're not sure that that constitutes an organization that you serve, but you feel that it is, just say that in the application.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, but
yeah.
it looks like you're looking for a number in that particular um, question. So I just wanted to make sure I knew how to define that.
Right. We're always looking for numbers. you know, as much quantitative as we can, but the qualitative is good too. So
Okay.
But numbers are always good.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, let me see. Since we're talking about the application, let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. I don't know how many of you have seen it, but this is the application. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, I want to say one of the most important things to do is to, try and get your collate all the information together before you start. Even though this form, the JOT form, does allow you to save and come back, it's probably easier if you go through the application and determine um, the information that you'll need before you get started. So, this is, I don't know how many of you have seen this, but this is just a sample of the application. And another thing I want to emphasize is that I know many of you, well, all of you, fill out grant applications. This is not a grant application. And it's an award for managerial excellence. With that in mind, we encourage you to have your CEO or your president involved in the process. So I don't know what questions you have, but this is the application. We want to know your subsector, full-time employees, part-time, your fiscal year. And all of this is pretty straightforward. All of this information should be available to you. Although this section right here is pretty detailed, but still, it's information that should be available to you in terms of your total budget and where the money is coming from. Um, And these are the questions, the narrative part, these are the questions that allow you to, I want to say allow you to shine. Um, what is your organization doing that indicates extraordinary management? Um, and The next question is about innovation. Are you doing anything innovative? Are you doing anything different than the other organizations in your industry? Uh, have you tried something new and different? And all the time, it's not an indication of whether that is successful, but it's an effort that shows that innovation is part of your culture. And then we'll tell a brief story of one of your program participants and how your program made a difference to that individual. So I don't think there's anything here that that you should not be able to answer. But there is one new question that we added to this application that we didn't have before. And how did your organizational infrastructure improve your programmatic outcomes? And that does require some thought. The metrics piece is important because we would like to see a comparison from year to year. So if you serviced 100 people this year and you service 200 people the next year, we'd like to see that. And we'd like to know how you did it. And then another component is volunteers and also your board. Do you have a give get policy? Do you have a do you have term limits policy? Do you have a term limit policy? Um, those are all the questions that we would like to have answers to. And I don't know if this is finally, but if you applied for this, if you apply, oh, there's a hand up. What's the question?
Hello, I'm just curious, how many like of the actual awards are being like how many awards are there? Are there any runner-up awards that will be given?
Well, it depends. Last year, the last time we had an awards series, which was in 2023, we only had one winner. But in years past, we have had runner-ups and honorable mentions. So it just depends on what the review committee feels. If they feel that the application was very strong, but not necessarily the winner, so to speak. But if the application was strong, then we have in the past had honorable mentions.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm. So if you did apply for this award in 2023, um, then it's important that you are required to receive the feedback call on that application before you apply again. So if you applied in 2023 and you did not receive the award, then we have all of the data from the application and all the comments from the reviewers. And so it's a good idea to know why your application was not selected as the winner. And that'll help you in crafting the application for this year.
Lynn,
Yes.
we have another question in the chat.
Oh, what is it?
I can read it.
Please.
It says, can you clarify the question? How did your organizational infrastructure improve your programmatic outcomes? Can you give an example or share more about what you're looking for here, please?
Let's say this is minor, but let's say that you had, let's say you were a food bank, and when people would come, they would just stand in line. But you decided that there would be another way for you to receive people so that you could make the line go faster and service more people in a shorter period of time. So, that would be an example of how you change your organization um, and how that change improved your programmatic impact and outcome to your constituents. I know I probably should have had something prepared a little bit more significant, but I think you understand what I mean. If you don't, let me know and I'll try again. Have any of you applied before? Oh, wonderful. Let me see if I have anything else on my list that I want to bring up. Yeah, I mentioned that we would suggest that you prepare your narrative questions ahead of time, and then you can just cut and paste them into the application. There's some, you will notice that some fields are required. So anything with a red asterisk is required in the application. And it's important that the statistics and the outcomes are tied to your mission. So we're going to look at the mission statement and see if the outcomes and the impact that you detail in the application is intimately tied to your mission. And by the way, I'm not on the committee, and typically Axelson Center staff is not on the committee. There are people, and the list from the list of the committee members from the last cycle is on the website. But yeah, though they're nonprofit leaders, and probably if you look at the names from the last cycle, you will know some of those people.
A quick question about the 7 hallmarks.
Yes.
So how do you envision a successful application addressing the 7 hallmarks? And more specifically, should our applications address all 7 of them, or should we choose a few that we really embody to focus on?
I think the application says 3 or 4. Let me see. Like, for example, question number 20. Use the hallmarks as a guide to illustrate 2 or 3 examples of extraordinary management. So, and it's important that you actually say that you detail what the correlation is. So that's for question number 20. And again, 21, this is about innovation, but it says use the hallmarks of nonprofit managerial excellence for guidance. But again, the 20 says 2 to 3 examples.
So I'm wondering, so you're limited to the number of words or letters, like the 20, you get 750 words or characters?
Yes.
And that's it. And so in formatting, would you suggest not using formal formatting like paragraphs or just have it all one answer without separating paragraphs and lines?
Well, I don't recommend not separating paragraphs and lines.
Okay. I can just try to fit it in and see what works. But I do know that some things, some awards that I've applied for, count those extra lines or indentations as part of the, for example, 750.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just copy and paste and see what I can get in there to.
Now, I haven't tested it. I don't think that I don't know how the spaces count. I really don't.
Okay.
And perhaps that's something I should research.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, formatting is important. If it's all running, I'm just going to tell you, if it's all running together, it's going to be hard to read.
Right.
So use the guidelines to make it as attractive and impactful as possible.
Okay, thank you.
So See if there's anything else I'm supposed to cover. I think I've covered everything I want to say. Just remember, we are not reviewing your programs.
Right.
We are reviewing your managerial skills. Because we know you all have excellent programs and that you're making a difference in people's lives, but we just want to know how you're doing it and if you're doing it well.
Okay.
So we're recording this a session, and we will have a link to it just in case you might want to look at it again. I don't know. But the application is, I think it's pretty straightforward. But again, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns.
It's one more question here, Lynn.
Okay.
It says, are there any restrictions on what the award can be used for?
No. I haven't heard. No, it's not like a grant, so it's not a restricted grant or anything like that. Uh, I don't know if we asked for that in this award. I know we offer an Excellent Emerging Award, which we will be offering in 2026. And we do ask them what they're going to use the money for, but I don't think that's in this question. I don't think this is in the application. No other questions? All right. Well, the applications are due March 12th. So you have almost a month to, get it done. So I look forward to receiving these applications and distributing them to the reviewers. And I look forward to many of you going to round 2, so stay excited and, but in any event, we'll see you all at the conference in October. So if you have any further questions, again, feel free to reach out to me by email or by phone.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Hope everyone stays warm.
Oh, yes.
Lord help us. Have a beautiful day.
You do the same. Okay.
I'm going to stop the recording.
Yes.